Hi everyone, I'm Savannah and this video is going to be a follow-up video to my last video about this topic. I did a video a while ago on what £7,000 accommodation or the price to thereabouts looks like at every Russell Group Uni, and for this video I thought I would do what the cheapest accommodation at every Russell Group Uni looks like. So it's not all going to be the same price, it's going to be whatever cheapest one that they have available. And it's not going to include like partnership ones like with Unite students or anything, it's going to be only uni owned accommodation. This topic is something I feel quite passionate about because I feel like students are constantly screwed over financially by universities in lots of different ways, especially if you're working class and you don't have any sort of generational wealth or things like that. So it's really interesting to see how unis cater for students whose accommodation costs are at the bottom end of that price bracket. I'm going to be going through the unis in alphabetical order, starting with Birmingham, ending with York, and I will put sort of links in the description so you can just skip to the ones you want to see and anything like that. I'll also put links to all the accommodation that I'm showing, and yeah. Okay, got my glasses on because otherwise I get a headache from looking at screens, and let's go. Cool, so the first uni that we're looking at, like I said earlier, is Uni of Birmingham. This is called Maple Bank. It sounds very quaint, doesn't it? It has accommodation for 435 students, and one thing I think that's going to be important to see as we go on is how much of this cheaply priced accommodation is offered. Because sometimes it will be like, oh yeah, you can get accommodation for really cheap, but then there'll only be like 2 rooms. 42 weeks. I'm a bit iffy whenever I see unis have extra long contracts because it does seem a way to maybe get more money, but anyway, the total cost is £3,753 for the 42 weeks. It's £90 a week, which is actually pretty good. You get the wonderful privilege of living in Edgbaston in Birmingham. That is all I will say. And they have a virtual tour. Now, I love it when they have virtual tours because some, as you will see, do not have virtual tours. They will have a few funny pictures and that's it. Okay, so let's have a look. I'm looking at like a sofa. Kitchen. This, as far as kitchens, uni kitchens go, looks quite nice. I do like this dollhouse thing that a lot of them do for these room tours now, and you can have a look in the room. Again, I'm actually somewhat impressed with this room, just compared to the other ones. I still think it's a bit, but compared to the other ones, this room is actually on the larger side. You get a really big desk. Kitchen seems alright. It seems alright. I can't really fault it. You've got the charging points. For £90 a week, you can't complain, to be honest. So good for you, Birmingham. Cool, moving on to Bristol. Bristol, I am not happy with Bristol. You will see. Okay, so from £90 per week, you get to live in the campus houses at Bristol. 0 miles to campus, which is very good to be close. But these photos, I am absolutely shocked that they think these photos are appropriate to show students for their accommodation. It's all messy. It looks like someone's just walked in, taken photos and walked out. I genuinely think this is absolutely shocking that like this bed here, it's a mess. And they've just put that and said, yeah, this is our accommodation. It's like no pride in the accommodation. And I worry that it shows a lack of respect for the students going for that accommodation, because I'm sure if you went onto the more expensive accommodation pages, you'd get slightly nicer pictures. Yeah, it's again, it's shared bathroom, but look, all the alcohol on the fireplace that they've got there, and just the rooms are just generally messy. This bedroom it's a tip. They could not even get a tidy room to take pictures of. yeah. I don't think I was happy with Bristol's £7,000 accommodation, but I know that Bristol have had a lot of issues with housing their students lately, and their accommodation's been on the more expensive side. Perhaps something to think about if you are thinking of Bristol. Having said that, Bristol, I have been to Bristol and it's a lovely city. And I guess you only have to live there in your first year. It's up to you. I'll leave you to make up your mind on that one. From £90 per week if you want to share a room. Oh, okay. £90 a week if you want to share a room, but most rooms even here are a single, which is £109. Again, if you are looking at trying to get the cheapest accommodation at the university you're applying to, remember to look at how many rooms that they have available that are that lower price, because they will often say from £80 and you'll be like, wow, that's amazing, but then they'll have one room that is from £80 and the rest are from 120 or something. Cool. Right, next one was Cambridge. Oxford and Cambridge and York to an extent were a bit difficult because of the collegiate accommodation. It's a bit difficult to find one that represents the whole uni. Often if you go to Oxford or Cambridge and you're at one of the newer colleges, all the accommodation will be en suite, so you'll be paying a bit more. But if you go to one of the older colleges, you can get like a really tiny cupboard room that's really cheap with a shared bathroom. So I'm not sure how I feel about it being a bit of a lottery in that regards, with how lucky you are to get a college that has cheaper accommodation. But having said that, a lot of the colleges at Oxford and Cambridge have financial support, and because the terms are so short, you won't end up paying too much, I think. Anyway, so for Oxford and Cambridge, I chose to have a look at the richest colleges and sister colleges, Trinity College, Cambridge, and for Oxford, when we get to that later, Christchurch. Trinity College, Cambridge, I had a look at their cheapest, and I think it was this Whewell Court, this place. And the rooms look quite nice. I mean, I'm a bit miffed that these are the only pictures you can see, but £101 a week, and it's like bed sit or double set with shared bathroom, and a lot of it seems like really historic and nice. So, but I'm biased. I love like old historic accommodation. Yeah, but like I said, it's difficult to find an exact price for those, so take any of that with a pinch of salt. Right, we're going to look at Cardiff now. Cardiff's cheapest was from about £104 a week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. And it was their student houses. Now, I'm going to talk about Cardiff student houses from experience, because one of my friends went to Cardiff and she stayed in this accommodation. So the student houses are cheap, and you can get some quite nice big rooms, shared bathrooms, self-catered, as are nearly all of these. You can get some quite nice big rooms, and I thought when she told me she was staying in like one of these Cardiff shared houses, I was a bit like, oh, would that just feel like living in a house? But it surprisingly feels like halls. But that's quite good. So if you do go to Cardiff and you get this shared house, student house or whatever, don't feel too put out, because they're not bad, and you can get quite nice big rooms and quite close to campus as well if you're lucky. I'll just show you a quick 360 tour. As rooms go, it's quite nice. Right. Oh, again, now we're on Durham. Durham again, collegiate. It's a bit difficult to know what sort of room you'll be getting. And I have a bone to pick with Durham, actually, because they make it very difficult for you to work out what the cheapest price of their accommodation is. So it has, if you can see, single standard room, shared bathroom facilities, £7,981 for the whole academic year. But then it's add and subtract different prices depending on what sort of room you've got. It makes it very difficult to say, I want the cheapest room. I don't know if someone who's gone to Durham can give advice on that. But yeah, a single standard room with shared bathroom facilities at Durham for the whole year will give you £5,587. I don't know how much that is a week. But then you add and subtract things depending on how your room is. I don't like that because it makes it very difficult to be able to look and see, yeah, they've got cheap accommodation for me. I think Durham could do better with that. And having said that, going on accommodation, I looked at their University College accommodation, except I couldn't really find any pictures. You can see this nice graphic that they've clearly made on Canva. I'm not sure about showing this picture of their court with all these post-it notes on the wall. And I think with University College Durham, I might be making this up, but a lot of rooms are shared, which could be good or bad, depending on how you feel about that. And this was the kind of picture I could find with a bit of a broken slider. Seems like a mixed bag. Right, next one is Edinburgh. Edinburgh is actually, I think last time I checked, the third richest university in the UK. Fun fact. A lot of royal family people seem to go there. Anyway, I was pleasantly surprised with Edinburgh. Or was I? Yeah, I'll say that I was. You can share a twin room for £2,703 per year, which is crazy cheap. And that's good if you don't mind sharing. And the problem was that they didn't have a virtual tour for the twin, they just had it for the single, but I'll show you this. You can see this nice weird fisheye thing going on. Seems alright, I guess. Seems a bit dark, doesn't it? A bit old fashioned, but okay. Then there's, oh, what was this? Kitchener House. Yeah, again, I couldn't find a twin room on that one, just a single room. I quite like the storage sort of situation they've got here. It does seem quite cosy. I mean, the light's a bit overbearing, but it doesn't seem too bad. That's what I'll say. The next one I'm looking at is Exeter. They had a nice table where I could see the contract totals for each one, which was quite nice. So I went to the cheapest one, I think, Rowancroft Court. But I think this one's really far out. I don't think this one is main campus, so. Yeah, I'm just showing you what it looks like. I'm just. Again, there's only 3 pictures. These are big decisions, especially if you're low on money and things. You know, this is a big decision, and I think only having a couple of pictures kind of downplays that a bit. Moving out is a big thing when you're 18, moving out from home for the first time, or maybe if you're a care leave or thing, you want to know where you're staying because it's a big financial commitment. Anyway, and they've got a video why we chose self-catered accommodation at Exeter. Yeah, if you don't mind the nearly 2 miles to the centre of the main campus, then that's for you. The cheapest one at Glasgow again was a twin, £109.97 a week. They have a video to kind of show you what the rooms look like, and at least Glasgow tidied the rooms before filming them. Picture of a microwave. I do love how they show pictures of such arbitrary things. It seems quite cool that it's got these study spaces actually. I'm quite impressed with that. Shows you sort of stuff you could post on Facebook. You can recycle. Not that many pictures of the actual room, just this bit at the beginning. The twin rooms seem cosy, I'll say that. I'm sure you'll become very good friends with whoever you're sharing with. Right, so Now, our first London uni, Imperial College London. I saw this one saying £91, and I was a bit incredulous. I was like, for London, £91? But it appears to actually be £91. Again, it's very much your common or garden uni room. You have, it seems a bit bigger than some of the other ones we've seen. It's quite impressive given London. The kitchen looks a bit iffy though. I'm sure on one of the pictures for Imperial they had like a landline in the room and we were a bit surprised at that. Bathroom, I mean, yeah, it's not a first class hotel. In fact, it looks a bit like a hospital. But £91 a week in London, I'll take it. Second London one is King's College London. I'm glad that King's College London had the option to sort the residences by lowest price. A lot of uni websites don't have that on their accommodation, and again, it's another one of those things that shows that they're thinking about the students and what they might be looking for. So it's little things like that, you know, website design that give you the vibes. Having said all that, when I did order it by lowest price, the cheapest one was £160, and you get very much the same, if even less of a room than you got at Imperial. Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm just not happy. And the thing is, they have like a King's assisted accommodation scheme or something like that, whereas if you're from a low income background, they'll knock a bit of money off your accommodation. They knock £5 a week off this, so you're paying £155 a week. I'm not sure £5 a week will cut it. Oh wait, oh, you've got to see this. Okay, this is the floor plan for this £160 a week room. It is literally a bed and a door. It just made me laugh. It just seemed so pointless to put a floor plan in there if that was all it was going to be. Now we are going out of London and into Yorkshire with Leeds, and you could have a self-catered shared bathroom from £95 a week. So again, you're able to compare cost of residences, which is nice. We do like things like that. We don't like seeing them trying to hide the cost of the residences things. This is North Hill Court. It doesn't seem too bad actually, £95 a week. I like these stage photos of people with their friends. Oh, and they also had Oxley residences, which I think is self-catered shared bathroom. Yeah, Oxley residences is the same price as well. And here she is studying in her room, and that could be you. Oh, and he's studying, that could be you as well. Oh, there's a cat behind me. People talking in the kitchen with a cup of tea. It's such a classic student accommodation photo. Chatting with your mate in the kitchen with a cuppa. Laughing in the kitchen together. Studying together. I actually quite like this. It's quite nice. I love, like I said, I love old-fashioned accommodation, and the fact that they've got their own like little lounge to sit in and their own little places. Has it even got a gym? That's quite good actually, £95 a week. I think I'd go for that one. Right, next one is Liverpool. Liverpool was interesting. You'd think the accommodation, the cheapest one, would be around in the realm of £90 like Leeds was. The cheapest accommodation I could find at Liverpool was £144.97 a week. It's very nice, but it's really not that different to the £90 a week one at Birmingham. At the end of the day, it's a room. It's a room with a bed and a desk and a wardrobe and a sink, and they're charging more than £50 more than Birmingham do. I think a lot of time unis will build these new builds, and they'll think because it's a new build they can charge more. And as well as that, a lot of universities are building more and more new accommodation for students, but they will build all this new accommodation exclusively en suite, which means all the new accommodation, the price goes up. That's what I'm trying to say. And that makes it harder for people who can't afford the en-suite prices to actually find somewhere to stay, because all the new accommodation that keeps being built is en-suite. This is actually an exception to that, but I'm sure you know what I'm saying with that. Okay, we are back to London and LSE, which it seems interesting. It says here that you could get a room at LSE in Passfield Hall from £116 a week. So you're like, oh, that sounds cheap. And then you scroll down, and that's if you share a room with 2 other people, a triple room with a shared bathroom, and also you have to move out in the holidays. Again, if you're let's say you're a care leaver, or you're an estranged student, you can't really have a room with a 31-week contract. But then you might not be able to afford the £258 a week single room with a shared bathroom. It's that sort of thing that leaves students behind, that maintains this wealth disparity with students. With these 31 weeks, it's great for the uni because they can have conferences when the students move out and have people stay over there in the rooms that the students have moved out on. But for students, especially, you want the cheapest room. £116 is the cheapest room. But then, like I said, if you're estranged or a care leaver, you can't stay in that room. So you can't go for that room. So then you have to go for the more expensive room, which can be double the price. Oh, I think I can view a 360 tour of this one, yeah. If I go to the triple room, it's cosy. It's a very American style, isn't it? Yeah, I'm very much introverted, so I'm not sure I'd like sharing a room with one other person, never mind 2, but you might not have the luxury of that. Anyway, moving on to Manchester. Oak House, I believe, was their cheapest price, from £109 a week. Manchester, again, have these really annoying tiny pictures in the top right. That just looks, it's a classic room. £109, yeah, just, that is a room. I can't say it looks the most luxurious, but on to Newcastle. What's this? Castle Leazes. Plan for an unforgettable time at this bright and energetic student community. Only a 15-minute walk away from campus. Here you'll find a spacious chill-out lounge, gaming area, TV room and on-site computer cluster, perfect for squeezing in some study before the fun begins. To do this, you are actually paying the very reasonable £95.83 a week for 39 weeks, which comes to under £4,000. Seems reasonable. I can have fun, it says, so I do like to have fun. Oh, hold on, here we go. A shared bathroom. Oh, there we go. Lovely. The walls are very white. The sink looks very sanitary. Oh, I quite like this little cubby hole though with the sink in. That's quite fun. That's not bad actually. So after this I went to look at my uni Nottingham, and there is me on the Nottingham uni page, me with my braces on back in first year. Nottingham was a bit tricky because the cheapest one was the independent ones, because all of Uni of Nottingham's university owned halls are pretty much catered, which drives the price up a lot, as you can imagine. And so it didn't really feel like as much a fair comparison, because they have like partnership halls that are from £108 a week, but I know for a fact that you can get a shared catered room at Nottingham for around £95 a week. And I don't know if they weren't doing it this year because of COVID or whatever, but when I've seen my friends with the shared room at Nottingham, first of all, a lot of time that they've got it all to themselves because people don't want to go for the twin rooms. And second of all, you actually get your own room anyway. In a twin room, you only share like a study space, but you have your own bedroom and sink with the door that you can lock, which I think is good. And when I saw that and knew that, then I was like, oh, well, actually would have been all right with the twin room, because you've still got your own room, you can shut the door, you've got your own privacy and things. So I'll show you the pictures of Raleigh Park, but this is, again, I think it's one of the partnership halls. It's £108 a week. And Raleigh Park's all right, to be honest, yeah. But I know for a fact that Uni of Nottingham owned catered halls are cheaper if you get a twin room. And they're often not taken up because people don't want to share, but then you end up getting one all to yourself. So yeah, Nottingham's a bit hard to judge on this one. From Nottingham we go to Oxford, and this is Christ Church, which is Trinity College, Cambridge's sister college at Oxford. So I thought that would be a fair comparison. They seem to be about the same in terms of, I don't know, money. Maybe Trinity College, Cambridge is a bit richer. Oh, I can't do maths. It's like 3,000, it's like £5,000 total. Again, I don't like that it doesn't give you that number. You have to add it up yourself. It's a bit of a hidden sort of thing I don't like. But this is the cheapest I could find at Christ Church anyway. And you know I'm a sucker for old-fashioned rooms and things like that, so I quite like the rooms at Christ Church, but you make your own opinion up of what you see. Yeah, some colleges at Oxford and Cambridge I think have this interesting system where you'll pay the exact same amount for accommodation for each of your 3 years, and in your first year you might get a small room, but that means in your second year you might get a really nice big room, and you'll pay exactly the same. So you'll pay like £4,000 for your accommodation throughout your 3 years at the college, and then you'll be in a ballot where if you get a really rubbish room, then you'll get a really nice room the next year. And I think that's quite good actually, because again it makes it fair, I think, because obviously we've spoken about how a lot of the cheaper uni accommodation might be not as good, but this way everyone gets both sides of it. It seems good. Queen Mary University of London, Mile End is the campus, I think, and we're looking at Albertstone House, and that is a kitchen. That is a very bright kitchen. Yeah, that's certainly a kitchen. It looks very functional. Again, it's a bit like a, I don't know what it's like. But you can get a single standard room there for £136.64 a night. Now, this is where you've got to be careful and look. You can see a twin room for £99.47 at Albertstone House. But when you go on the actual page, there's only one of those rooms available. So more than likely, you'll be paying £136. So again, it's a gamble that a lot of Portsmouth students might not be able to take part in, because you could end up with something that you cannot afford at all. That's a high ceiling. Again, it's not too dissimilar to what the other rooms we've looked at so far. After this, I went to look at Belfast. Queen's University Belfast's website says that it is the cheapest student city in the UK, or something like that. It said £5,000 cheaper than living in London. Sounds good. I think I looked at 76 Malone Road or something like that. It was £85 a week, and it is your very much standard room. At least you've got 2 mirrors. I mean, and it's like this sort of interesting house situation, and I've got a few others similar to this that are like £85. But yeah, it's cheap. It's Belfast. Belfast is really nice actually, I really liked it. You could also at Belfast get this college gardens room, like £85 again. And yeah, standard rooms. Okay, so I went on Sheffield and instantly this guy just started talking to me, and I don't like comfy single bed, and I don't like it when it suddenly starts playing a video, because A, it's not as high quality, and B, I don't like people talking to me. And then it's the fact he's just got his mate in the background on the computer while he's talking. I'm a bit like, okay, oh, what's it say? Something of storage. Lots of storage. Lots of storage, like a wardrobe. Oh, and it's breaking. How much is this? That's the other bit of storage. Lots of storage, like a wardrobe and that little table. Well, that certainly is. And I think for that you pay like, I went for the cheapest, so 3,369. Was it Sheffield that randomly spoke at me the last time? I think it was. You can go and watch that video if you want, I'll link it at the end. £7,000 accommodation at the Russell Group Unis. And ironically, some of the £7,000 accommodation is the cheapest accommodation in this video, so. Okay, so I went to look at Southampton next. Glen Eyre. It's £119 a week for the cheapest, which, got these pictures. Oh, he's doing his laundry, circuit laundry, memories. If I click on this, will it bring it up? No, it's just him sat on his bed. Oh, and she's sat on her windowsill. They're always reading a book. If they're not drinking a cup of tea and laughing with their friends, they're reading a book. And she likes Pokemon. Look, she's got a Jigglypuff. Maybe there's a virtual tour somewhere. I couldn't find it if there was, but that's what I could find. Okay, so I think this is our final London one, UCL. What was I looking at? Arthur Tattersall House. Right, and Arthur Tattersall House, you could get the lowest price, a twin room, for £132. Let's see. I mean, the twin room, I can't see the rest of the room, so I can only assume from what I see on this twin room, that's a ridiculously tiny space for two people to live in and study in, and it's way too small. Like, you're foot to head in there, and you've got to pay £132 for the privilege of smelling someone's feet while you're at uni. So I don't know about that. And then it's got a yes and no as to what you get. You don't get a bedside table, or you don't even get a bin. For £132 a week, there's no bin. Or shower. Wait, there's no shower? Moving swiftly on to Warwick. Discover your way of living. Find your next room. There's no place like Warwick. There certainly isn't. There certainly isn't. Oh, these prices have gone up. I don't remember Arthur Vic being that expensive. I'm sure it was like £170 a few years ago. Anyway, the cheapest Warwick accommodation is Whitefields. It's £81 a week, which is weirdly the cheapest one that we've seen so far, I think. From what I've seen of Whitefields, it actually looks quite nice and cool. I'd be quite interested to stay at Whitefields. And I'm being honest here because it's Warwick. Whitefields doesn't seem too bad, to be honest. For the price, you cannot complain. But let's just hope you can get a room, because seeing as this is so much cheaper than all the other residences, I wonder if it would be a bit oversubscribed. But yeah, and Whitefields have a nice video as well. Let's hope they tidied up beforehand. I'm just a bit upset about that Bristol one, to be honest. 17 self-contained flats for up to 12 students. It's a lot of maths to work out how many rooms there are. Microwave, toaster and kettle. There's lots of shots of the kitchen, isn't there? Communal space in each block. The communal space is the kitchen. Interesting. It's fairly well made, this video, but I've got to say I do prefer 360 virtual tours. I don't know about you guys. It's certainly a product of its times, this hall, but £81 for it being the cheapest accommodation we've looked at so far, you can't complain. You don't even have to share. And we are finally at the last one. We are at York. So York, like Oxford and Cambridge, is collegiate. So I don't kind of like the lottery, because if you want the cheapest accommodation, according to this, you have to be in Halifax College. Otherwise you're paying at least £40 more to live at York. So I don't really like that lottery. And, you know, maybe that means that Halifax College at York has a higher percentage of low-income students. I don't know. Anyway, the room itself looks nice. It's standard. I feel like every time I've looked at York uni accommodation, I've just been like, yeah, standard, it's all right. At least it looks recently refurbished, hey? And tidy. Not that I'm still thinking about that, but it's tidy. But yeah, that's York. So if you are low income, fingers crossed you get Halifax College. And those are all the Russell Group colleges. Just to recap, out of all the ones we looked at, it was surprisingly Warwick that had the cheapest accommodation at £81. And as you can expect, it was a London uni that took the perhaps not that great of an honour of most expensive, cheapest accommodation. KCL, even with their financial support, it's £155 a week. But yeah, it's quite a bit of variety in prices, and I hope that I've brought up a lot of important issues that people can think about in regards to accommodation prices and how it's laid out, how costs are presented, how higher education in general with situations like this accommodation can push out lower income students. I was lucky enough when I went to Nottingham that I couldn't afford the most expensive accommodation, but I at least had a bit of freedom to choose what accommodation I wanted. For a lot of lower income students, if they get into like a good uni and stuff, they might not even have the freedom to privacy, to have their own single room. They might not even be able to choose that, because at a lot of these unis, money buys you privacy, and I don't know. But what do you guys think? Are there any that you think were particularly good value for money, not good value for money? How would you guys feel about sharing a room? Because for me, being introverted, I'm like, I would not like share a room at all. But I don't know. It could be a thing for some people that they'd like it. And are there any sort of other issues that you've noticed for working class students with regards to accommodation? Anything that can alienate them? I think these issues are really important to be talked about, because it could just be one of the reasons why we're not getting lower income students into higher education. We've got things like the Sutton Trust, but at the end of the day, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But education shouldn't be like that. I just don't know. I don't know if education should be based around finance at all, or at least not the accommodation. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what you guys think, what you guys thought of all the accommodation, what your favourite was, your least favourite. Just drop it in the comments and all that. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Let me know if you like this video. Bye.